In my opinion, AI has no place in spirituality. But let me back up. Hey peeps, Tyler here. And yes, I've written this out, so I will be reading it. I actually made a video about my thoughts on AI on my other channel, A Literary Stoner. I'll link it in the description, and I still have the same thoughts. But when I made that video, I had no idea AI had invaded the spiritual community. Invaded may not be the right word, but it's the one I'm using. Regardless, these are my opinions on AI. Feel free to disagree. I read a Substack, Casey Raybould, that talks a lot about AI and what's going on with it. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. There's a lot to cover, so please excuse me if it's all over the place. I'm also tired, in case you can tell. But first of all, AI is a bit too broad. AI is generally more just algorithmic intelligence, not artificial. Artificial intelligence implies being able to think on one's own, make choices, free will, sentient. All AI is right now is an algorithm fed a lot of data that it can't actually think about, so it often makes shit up, hallucinates, and gives wrong information. And I've already heard multiple times about people getting creepily addicted to it. To ChatGPT, even as well as to bots that people, including teenagers, are in relationships with supposedly. In a relationship. With an AI. With a bot. That is creepy AF. It's code, not sentient. Can't think, can't love, can't even feel. And people are so addicted they think it's real. I can only see that leading to disaster. We're already so divided, polarized and isolated. Drifting more and more apart. All around me I see people that can't separate fiction from reality. Have been for years now, and it's only getting worse. And we need each other. Real human flesh and blood people. We're social creatures, but code isn't real. It can't actually have a real, deep conversation with you. It can't love you. People are using AI for everything, despite all the errors and hallucinations and problems it's creating. Using it for stuff for no reason other than it's there and it's fun, or makes something easier, or they think it does until the errors become problems. Or the side effects of no longer knowing how to do something. Skills eroding away, lack of focus, laziness, until no one knows how to do anything anymore, and wonders why they are miserable. The oligarchs, the tech bros, feeding it a bunch of data, a lot of which is stolen. I'm a writer, an aspiring author working on a novel. Facebook stole a lot of books. Generative AI is currently just a plagiarism machine. Stories, artwork, created by real people, stolen, no compensation, no permission, fed into a machine, and spit back out. That's all it is right now. And the tech bros are creating a lot of problems for a lot of people. And AO3, where some of my stories are, including original short stories despite being a fanfiction site, has also been fed into a machine, multiple times now. So even though my stories are completely free, legally free, they've still been stolen and fed into a machine that can't truly understand them and will just chew them up and spit them out. Creativity is sacred and human. In my eyes, creativity is sacred, something within each of us. We're all different, but we're all a part of the universe and interconnected, and we're all co-creators of the universe. AI is soulless. Yes, I do think everything is a part of the universe, but I saw a video, I'll link it in the description, about how AI is based on the ego. That made perfect sense to me in explaining why it's having so many disastrous effects on us. AI is supposed to do the labor while humans create art. Instead, we're doing it ass backwards. I highly recommend watching the video on AI and ego. In brief, it mentions how consciousness doesn't derive from the brain, as does the book I reviewed on here in a deep dive Proof of Heaven, link also in the description. Thoughts reflect as electrical signals in the brain, and are just that, electrical. The electrical signals themselves are not what the soul is, but they are a direct reflection of our ego. Our consciousness, our soul, is like energy around our body. The brain is inside the consciousness, the soul, not the other way around. And AI is modeled, upon the brain, our thinking I, upon the processes of thoughts, our ego. Therefore, artificial intelligence is ego. Anyone who understands the principles of awakening knows that the ego is the false self. The reason that humanity is so lost is because it identifies with ego, with thinking. It identifies with the processes of the brain, rather than awakening to the higher dimension and higher intelligence that lays dormant within the rest of the body and deeper consciousness. Please know it does go on to explain it's not condemning AI or the ego. It just needs to be used consciously. The video goes into a lot more. Also, no, I didn't see the New Yorker piece because I don't have a subscription, but I'd already heard of students using AI to cheat. Think about it for a minute. Students cheating in school with AI, meaning they end up learning nothing. Students cheating in college, I've already heard of it, so they enter jobs they have no idea how to do. Will my born disabled ass, Factorial Association, I'll link a playlist down below if you want, can't help but think about doctors and health professionals. That will get people killed. A lot of people. And that's just one example. Kids will grow up not knowing how to do so much that used to be second nature to people in general. In short time, it will be completely lost, if not completely dead. People think they are learning from a machine that can't actually think and produces a lot of hallucinations and errors, instead of learning from books and videos and other people. Real sentient people who can think and have had experiences. Real experiences. And then there's the joy in experimenting yourself. Spiritually, I think we all have psychic gifts. Some are more tuned or natural at it than others, but I think we all have them inside. And I think using AI for spiritual purposes will only erode them even further. While I don't think we can actually lose them entirely, I do think we can make it harder and harder for ourselves to access them. And then there's the effect on the climate. It's beyond awful how rapidly AI is killing our planet, our home. Why would we make Earth, that we are a part of and call home, just to ignore it and destroy it? Why wouldn't we take sacred pleasure in the divinity of the beautiful nature we helped create and call home? We'll lose the authentic connection we have with the divine and with the earth, as well as with each other, lost in the artificial world. I did also read an article, everything should be linked in the description, and part of it said, training, in turn, requires data, in remarkably large amounts of it. The large language models of today are consuming all the data that exists, which means that they may not be able to keep developing. Whereas from an AI point of view, the current generation of AIs are now themselves becoming significant data producers, which means that the networks might start cannibalizing themselves. The upshot could be a stalling of advances or a regress. It also mentions many scientists, particularly since the dawn of powerful computers, are involved in building models of reality. These models are then compared with reality to see how accurate they are, and then to see how they illuminate the workings of reality, which in turn aids the development of technology. For example, my old physics tutor is a cosmologist. He now spends his working life not looking up telescopes. The last time I saw him, he confessed sadly that it had been years, possibly decades, since he enjoyed such pleasures. Rather, he generates artificial representations of the movement of galaxies and stars, from the Big Bang to the present day, which spin and twirl around each other virtually, as bits and bytes streaming across vast assemblies of silicon chips. It generates fascinating questions about the nature of dark matter, dark energy, and the like. But one thing my tutor has never suggested is that he is making universes inside the computers. He knows that he is running models, as any good scientist does. And yes, another part says, where AI is driven by algorithms, spiritual intelligence draws on the analogical, detecting sympathies, harmonies, synchronicities. Where AI processes what is concrete and known, spiritual intelligence is alert to the ineffable, the paradoxical, the mythological. Where AI works on abstractions drawn from reality in the form of data and models, spiritual intelligence depends on contact with reality, which is why embodied practices are so important, alongside undergoing experiences of longing, suffering, bewilderment, and love. Where AI is conceptual, and so thrives in the domains of digital representation, spiritual intelligence recognizes that the conceptual is in the service of the intuitive, and requires moral, aesthetic, and relational testing. Where AI is built on models and abstractions, spiritual intelligence links the particular to the universal, uncertainty to wisdom, and disclosure with the delights of poetry and music, as well as experiment and reason. Another thing the spiritual intelligence knows is a truth that lies at the heart of the great wisdom traditions. Dying is the pathway to life. Darkness is really the eclipse of light. Tragedy is held within the more expansive outcome of comedy, in Dante's sense that the way down is also the way back. Embracing what happens is gradually discovering that everything can be embraced. I know I can't 100% avoid AI, but I will avoid it as much as I reasonably can. I know it has good uses, like in healthcare where it can help doctors and patients. Labor that no one wants to do so people can be free to do what they actually want to do. Create art, socialize with loved ones and connect with themselves, each other, nature, etc. I hope we can create a world where we can live in harmony with AI for good uses and in harmony with nature and ourselves. I will, however, avoid using AI for many things, especially art, creativity, and spirituality, as well as making sure I keep using skills I have or can learn on my own. These are my thoughts, some facts, but also some opinions of mine. Let me know yours in the comments. My link tree is in the description, as well as the Substack I mentioned that talks a lot about AI, the article I quoted from, the video about AI and the ego I mentioned, the Proof of Heaven deep dive, book review, and the Bacterial Association playlist if you're interested in learning more about that. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever you want to do. Thank you for watching, blessed be, and namaste.